That makes total sense. Let's go into finding the budget for design. Okay, you go off square foot, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so the best way how would you calculate just the square foot is it a certain amount of dollar per square foot?
Yeah, I would say if you're budgeting, like the easiest way to budget is price per square foot. You can get a pretty immersive setup experience, furnish a property, all the hard case goods, your bedroom, your beds, your TVs, your all of your case goods, your electronics, your accessories for about $45 a foot.
Okay.
And that's customized artwork that's creating an immersive experience. It's doing all that stuff. And you go talk to a designer, you're gonna be close to that to get a design, a fully designed house with some nice wallpaper and some murals. You're gonna be there or more, and so you have to say, okay, like that's where we budget at. We're not budgeting $400,000 or $500,000 budgets on creating these immersive experiences. And when you start to really look at the price per square foot that you're investing and spending, you shouldn't be spending a whole lot more than that. Now, if you start doing some of the, like you put pickleball courts in, you're putting pools in, you're putting some of those big time amenities that are a little more expensive, that's not going to come into that $45 a foot range. But you can do a really nice design, immersive experience with a couple nice amenities for that $45 a foot range. Now,
Okay.
and can you extend that? Absolutely. There are some properties that you can get you can spend $65 a foot and get a year or two payback on it. It's property by property and market by market on what the consumer's willing to spend more on.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to ask this because I feel like this is like keywords. Like people love these words. What about some hidden fees? Is there anything that you notice that people don't budget for enough, or anything hidden
On design?
Yeah.
Design is very designers make money in a few different places. Okay. So a lot of designers buy furniture at wholesale values, and there's a massive markup on furniture, and then they sell them at retail. And so sometimes, or maybe they get kickbacks from the furniture places. So they make money on the markup on furniture. A lot of times what they do is they don't have very transparent design fees in there. Like, what are they really charging for design, right?
Okay.
So like a lot of times their design is baked into the overall budget. It's like, hey, listen, I told you I could do this property for $100,000, and it's not really broken down. So if you're okay with that, no problem. You look at the designer, you trust them, and you like what they're doing, and you look at their portfolio and you say, yep, for $100,000, that was what you did in this one. I'm good with that.
Right.
That's fine. Other people are like, hey, I want to see it all. I want to see a breakdown of my cost of goods. I want to see labor. I want to see your fees in there, all of that stuff.
Right.
And that's how we operate. It's not very typical in the design world to operate like that. So you have to it's communication up front.
Right.
What do you want to see? Is that how they do business? If it's not how they do business, you probably aren't going to change how they do business. You might have to find somebody else. You want to have a good experience throughout. And transparency is always important, but you got to ask for it. You got to say, hey, listen, what are you paying? And don't make the mistake of when you see the fees that they're charging, or the markups that maybe they make, you have to realize you're not able to get furniture at wholesale, right? These designers are able to do that, and so they might not charge you a lot of fees because they know they can make money on the furniture. You as a consumer, maybe you're okay with that, and maybe you should be okay with that. Compare it to what you can actually go buy it for, right? If they can buy a restoration hardware sofa that sells for $10,000 and they can get it for $3,000. And then they mark it up to $6,000, that's still $4,000 cheaper than you can go buy it for, right? And somebody gets upset with them for doubling the price on what they bought it for.
Right.
I'm not so sure that's a fair assessment. I think that a lot of people try to dictate what somebody makes. I'm not a big fan of that either. Make sure it works. Make sure the overall cost makes sense for you. But there's a lot of different fees. Because you've got design fees, you've got, if you're going to have any sort of installation fees, you've got receiving fees, you've got furniture upgrades and markups on furniture. There's a lot of different places where the design company can be making some money, and there's other places where it's just passed through. It's just an expense, and you can know that going into it, or you can just say, hey, listen, I just want my design done. Here's my budget, my
Yeah.
price per square foot. And that's how a lot of designers work. They're just like, hey, listen, what's
Okay.
your price per square foot?
Right.
Yeah, I can do this level of design and quality for that.
Mhm.
And we'll tackle it, and everybody's happy at the end of the day because you have a great property.
Mm.
Other people are different. They're like, I
Mm.
want to see every spreadsheet. I want to see every line item. I want to see every receipt. And ultimately, is that does that work for you? And if you want that, you got to find a designer that's willing to work that way.
Mm. I love it. Okay, let's kind of go into how we help our members. I mean, there's a lot of things, and I kind of want to just touch on each one of these. You and Mike have spent a lot of time, and maybe some other people, I don't want to leave them out, on beds. Let's go into that. That's a huge thing. Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about the Vodyssey sleep system?
Yeah, one of the most overlooked, in my opinion, pieces of furniture is your mattress. It's talked about and it's briefed over a lot of saying, hey, you got to select the right mattress. However, it's hard. Have you ever gone to a furniture store and laid on a bunch of mattresses and you're like, I mean, they all start feeling about the same.
Yeah.
They all feel decent. You're like, I mean, which one
Some
do
dude standing over you and
yeah,
you're watching.
which one do you choose? Which one do you not choose?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
However, it is one of the most judged aspects of your home is going to be the quality of sleep that they have. And so Mike and I took almost a year and a half really doing a lot of research, doing a lot of different like testing of saying, hey, listen, how can we get the perfect mattress system, right? And how can we get something that people can you don't have to think about it. You can just get it, and it's affordable, right? You're going to spend a decent amount of money for mattresses. Decent mattresses really start around that $2,000 to $5,000 mark before you even start to consider what you should probably be buying. And lots of people are putting those $400 to $800 mattresses in, and they just don't work well.
Yeah.
You just don't get a good night's rest.
Yeah.
And as a consumer, that's how we want a good night's rest. And so you're getting judged on it. It doesn't show up in your photos. It doesn't show up on anything, but it starts to show up in your reviews, and it starts to show up on repeat customers. And so we really suggest investing into premium mattresses. But investing in premium mattresses can be hard because if you got you got a 5-bedroom house and 3 of the rooms have bunk beds and everything else, all of a sudden you end up buying 12 to 15 mattresses. It can add up, and you need a quality mattress in all of them. That starts to add up if you're in that $3,000 to $5,000 range, right?
Yeah.
And so we went and developed what we call the Vodyssey sleep system, and we have custom mattresses. We're one of the largest distributors of mattresses in the U.S. because of our Vodyssey footprint and portfolio. But it makes it really easy because of our collective buying power. We went in and we're able to pass on some significant savings where most our mattresses, our top end mattresses, are $1,000, and they're equivalent to those $3,000 to $4,000 mattresses that you would get that are premium mattresses. And we just get them at those wholesale prices. We just pass that stuff on.
Wow.
And so for people that are interested, obviously our Vodyssey family has access to our Vodyssey sleep system, but it is, even if you don't, you really have to take the mattress selection seriously and not just worry about trying to save money, but that can eat into a significant portion of your budget if you just throw a bunch of money at mattresses as well, because you have to be very diligent about what type of a mattress, and it has to, it can't be too soft, it can't be too hard. You have to consider your target audience, and there's a lot that goes into mattress selection.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I'm just thinking about it, man. Like even the target audience that we came up with at the very beginning of this episode, like the couple getaway and they can't sleep. That sucks.
Oh.
Or like a family going to Disneyland in Orlando and they come back and they can't sleep. That sucks.
Yeah.
Or whatever you're targeting, and you're out in the mountains, you're hiking, you can't sleep. That I mean, that's a huge thing.
Right.
That's huge. All right, let's go into
one of the reasons we're one of the largest distributors in the U.S. is because our guests like our mattresses so much, we sell them, right? They can go order them and they can buy them and they can get them delivered to their house.
That's wild.
And so it's pretty crazy. So it ends up being, hey, they like it so much that they're like, where can we get these? And so we pass that on to our guests.